The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
The Rams have drafted tight end Terrance Ferguson in the second round. What does that mean for his role going forward and Tyler Higbee's role? We'll talk about that next on this round 2 draft reaction episode here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. What's going on, Rams Nation? Welcome back to the Rams Up Podcast Network. I'm Ian. That's Mark. Like, subscribe to the channel, share this video, share this podcast with all your fellow Rams and football fans out there. Doing that, liking the video, definitely helps other Rams fans, other football fans being, able to see this video on their algorithm. We very much appreciate if you did that for us. But, Mark, I guess not a crazy shock in terms of the position that the Rams chose to get in this round 2 selection that they got from the Atlanta Falcons, as I wholeheartedly believe they were trying to trade up in round 1 to get tight end Colson Level, not T-Mac that went to the Panthers. I don't think that was the choice. But Sean McVay has been trying for many, many years to get a tight end that he handpicks outside of Gerald Everett way back when, and that is tight end Terrance Ferguson from the University of Oregon, as they choose him 46th overall. Welcome to Los Angeles, Mr. Ferguson. As this is a tight end, Mark, that we talked about in our tight end ranking video, who's worthy of a first, second, or third round pick. I had a third round grade on him, and we'll talk into more detail about him as a player overall. But how do you feel about this, Mark?
Well, I'm not entirely surprised, and I guess I'm surprised in that Elijah Arroyo and Harold Fannin Jr. were both still there. But, I'm not going to second guess Les Snead when it comes down to this, and Sean McVay, the nuances of playing the tight end position, which guy they prefer over the other, how they're going to use them, how they fit into this offense, all those things that maybe us Ram fans aren't really cognizant of. So I'm okay with the pick. Maybe I would have preferred Fannin Jr. or Arroyo, but again, I'll defer to Sean unless this is the tight end they preferred. And he's certainly, it's not a reach. It's not a big reach. He was very productive at a big-time university, going against big-time competition, a high-character guy, respected in the locker room. So he checks a lot of boxes. So I'm not going to criticize this pick at all, really.
Yeah, right on. And Rams Nation, go ahead and check out that old video if you want to hear my initial thoughts on Ferguson and why I thought he was a round 3 worthy tight end. But here the Rams chose him in round 2. And okay, based on what I saw on tape, do I believe this is a little bit of a reach? Sure, yes, I do. But you can convince me of what his strengths are. And what was that I really enjoyed? And I told you way back when, I have it in my notes here as I pull this back up, that the blocking was probably arguably the best in this whole class. Him, I really liked what I saw from Tyler Warren. And yes, maybe there's some other guys you can consider that may be a little more consistent. But I thought him, Terrance Ferguson we chose, Tyler Warren, and maybe a couple other guys you can convince me of were some of the best. But I would put him in the top 2, and depending on who you talk to, they can consider him as a number 1 blocking tight end with his bigger body. So that's definitely a positive, right? He's very strong. He plays very strong. That's what I have in my notes here. And going back to that draft video, I think a big strength of his is his catch radius, meaning, okay, you throw it up in this certain vicinity of him, he's very good at bringing it down. Now, is he some crazy ball tracker over the shoulder? Oh my God, what a great catch. Absolutely not. Is he a good jump ball guy consistently and contested catch? Honestly, not really based on what I saw on film. And these are things he can improve on, Rams Nation. I'm not trying to crap on the pick. I'm just going through my notes here what I saw. Yards after catch was solid. He's not as strong and bulldozer as I would like, but that can be worked on. His speed is good sometimes. There's times he looks like he's running fast. Sometimes he does not. So about, good to average on that based on my notes. And again, this is things that I said in that ranking video. And again, his superpower is the blocking. Technique he can get work on, Definitely all tight ends in this entire class need work in their blocking, in my opinion. The effort is there, no doubt about it. There are times, yes, where you can say, look, he should have probably been trying to give it a little bit more. But honestly, there's a lot of guys in this class that you can say the same thing for sure. Now, his route running, is he good against press coverage? No, but most tight ends are not, but that's something he can work on. In terms of running routes and being strong, so let's just say somebody's really on him. He's definitely not getting pushed around and bodied around and boxed out. He's definitely in control when he's running routes that way. In terms of his quickness and all that, I would say it's about average, right? In terms of his, savviness with his feet and be able to set defenders up in the route running, that's definitely not his game, but that can be coached up and worked on. I'm sure McVay will really do that with him. In terms of him reading zone coverage and trying to get open in that respect, it's about average with that. He can definitely learn to be able to dissect zone coverages and get open, right? What made, Puka Nacua so good the last couple of years and all these Rams pass catchers throughout the Sean McVay era. Speed overall, there's times he looks fast, but sometimes he looks average-ish, in my opinion. He's got some decent acceleration. And then in terms of the overall body control and catches in my final notes here, in terms of just quick stuff, what I saw on tape, I would say it's about average on that as well. So what they're banking on here, I believe with the Rams, is the positives, right? And what would that be? Hey, what did you do at the combine, dude? And let's pull that up. So Terrance Ferguson was a big winner at the NFL Combine per Dave Hillman, NFL, as I snagged this fun stat tweet that he posted a while back. Yes, he is 6'5", 247, a big human, but he doesn't play like it all the time, as I pointed out. 40-yard dash, though, he was the fastest tight end. Vertical jump, he was the most explosive. 10-yard dash, he was the most explosive and fastest there as well. So these combine numbers do not match what I saw on film. But I think what the Rams are saying is like, okay, we know it's in him. We know that we can coach him up and get him better in a gazillion areas that every tight end in this draft could get coached up and be better in. And I think that's really what it comes down to, Mark and Rams Nation, is that this guy is a physical freak who has not fully unlocked all his ability and all his talents to the max percentage that is possible. I think that's what my big takeaways are. Again, round 3, I would have been like, great selection. Round 2, based on what I saw on film, a little bit of a reach for me. But I don't hate the pick based on these measurables, what Sean McVay can do for him, what our tight end room can do for him, learning under Higbee, learning from Colby, who's an experienced veteran. And then obviously Matthew Stafford throwing you the freaking football, working with Devontae Adams, Puka, Tutu, Jordan Whittington, and whoever else we bring in today and tomorrow. So don't hate the pick. Would have wished it would have been in round 3, but if they loved him and they have a vision for him, let's rock and roll and see what happens, right, Mark?
Yeah, and you talk about having a veteran presence like Colby Parkinson around to help him and Tyler Higbee. Are both of those guys going to be around? That's the question that popped into my head when they made this pick. Davis Allen, if they keep all four of those guys, that's quite a tight end room. But I have a feeling there may be a move coming. I don't want to, certainly not going to predict that. But I know Ram fans have been calling for, the release of Parkinson after the June 10th date or whatever it is. Tyler Higbee, his career is winding down. So is this just a guy that's going to work his way into the lineup and be our tight end of the future? Or is another a current Ram tight end on his way out, perhaps?
I mean, who knows? I mean, again, let me pull this up. This is why they're taking him, guys. I'm going to pull up the relative athletic score here as I put this down by Kent Lee Plate, if I said his name, Plate, whatever. I'm sorry. So in this, if you're tuning in here on YouTube, you can see his relative athletic score, which is basically a giant database of combine measurables, right? Everything we talked about previously about the dash, his jumps, his 10-yard split and all that stuff, plus height, weight, bench, vertical, everything that could possibly get, gathered. And they put that in a database and they say, where does he rank athletic-wise, from this current draft in 2025 all the way back to 1987. And that is 1,338 tight ends, measurables, have been inputted into this database. And where does Ferguson rank in that? He is 92 out of that 1,338. So his relative athletic score is a 9.32 out of 10. So he's a super freak. And I think that's really what the Rams are banking on, that this super freak guy, they can unlock this ability in him on the football field, winning games, catching touchdowns, making big blocks, all that stuff for the Rams who want to make a Super Bowl run. I think that's what they're doing. That's why they're taking him this high. And again, his film is not bad. Everything I said about him, not just to whomp on him, but I'm just giving you what I saw and how I think things can be improved upon what I stated earlier. But I think it's totally about unlocked potential that is there to be, brought out of him. And I think all this combine stuff, and obviously the good moments that you see on film from him is what Sean McVay fell in love with. I mean, think about it, Rams Nation. They've been trying to make tight ends work for forever. They converted the tall and lengthy Jacob Harris from wide receiver to tight end, or back and forth. They were doing it as he was getting first team reps, if you remember that, in the 2022 campaign. And obviously he didn't work out as an NFL player. They were trying hard with him.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
They tried hard with Gerald Everett, the last tight end to be selected in the second round by the Rams in forever, and especially, a Sean McVay handpicked tight end. That worked out on and off. Tyler Higbee's been hurt a ton. Colby Parkinson was a failure as a big free agent signing thus far. Bryson Hopkins and others, did not blossom into anything spectacular, but shout out to Bryson for his Super Bowl catches and contributions on that final quarter of the game. But I just think they're taking a big chance on this and they're hoping it works out. But if any team can figure it out, Mark, I think the Rams can.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, he checks all the boxes, high character guy. And it's very important. He played at Oregon, who, their schedule, they play premier teams every year, and he produced against them 3 years of productivity, solid productivity with the Ducks. So he knows how to get it done. The Rams just have to figure out how to use him. And it's going to be fun to watch. And it's going to be really interesting for me, anyways. And maybe you as well, Ian, over the next 2-3 years, we're going to be able to compare him to Elijah Arroyo in the same division now.
Yep.
And see who made the right decision here, right? And who knows if the Seahawks would have taken Ferguson, if the Rams had taken Arroyo. Maybe both teams preferred Ferguson. Who knows? But it's still going to be an interesting comparison moving forward to see how these two guys develop.
No, most definitely. I mean, let's be honest about the second round selections by Sean McVay. Cam Akers worked for a very short period of time. Now he's bounced around the league a ton. Van Jefferson worked for 1 season-ish, and he's bounced around the league a ton now. Tutu Atwell has not worked out thus far, even though I'm a fan of his when he gets opportunities, but we'll see this upcoming season. Darrell Henderson has bounced around the league and is currently out of the league. Obviously, that was a third-round pick. We can go down all the other second and third round offensive guys that McVay really wanted. Blake Corum hasn't worked out this far. And yes, he still has a long way to go. But my point is, it's hit and miss with these high picks on offense, truthfully. And for a guy who I had a third round grade on, I hope it does work out. But enough of that. I think we should pull up what Jordan Rodriguez had to say here about what the Rams viewed about him, as Jordan tweeted this out. Rams really wanted to go skill player with their first pick, and Sean McVay has been Jonasing for a tight end. Yep, and that's why I believe Colson Loveland was a target up in the top 10 yesterday. Ferguson will join a room with Tyler Higbee, last year his contract, Colby Parkinson, and Davis Allen. So a good room and good guys you can learn from. And then Will Stein does a lot of creative things with that offense at Oregon, and Terrance Ferguson was both versatile and dependable there, including as a blocker. Rams were very, very high on him. And again, he is one of the best blocking tight ends. So what could he do? Like, let's say tomorrow games had to be played, Rams Nation. He could definitely execute all the combo blocks and the gap scheme stuff that we do, right? Duo, dives. He can execute zone running schemes. He can definitely be a lead blocker on those isolation run plays that we would do with Higbee when he was out there, what we've done with Puka, where they're lead blocking to block a linebacker, whether they're wham blocking, which is like a trap block, cutting off a DN that's purposely unblocked so you can hit him at an angle and catch him off guard. He can definitely step in and do that immediately, I believe. So now it's about, again, developing his overall game. And with his athletic traits, I think the Rams can do it, and I hope it works out, Mark.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch, and yeah, there is some concerns over the. Seems like the Rams draft better in the 5th and 6th rounds than they do in the second round lately. But hey, that can change. Hopefully, they nailed this one, and we'll see what they add in the third round, which will be soon. And what do you think they're going to do in the third round here, Ian?
That's a great question. I mean, it just depends who's available. I mean, players that I had as second and third round guys are going, even some third round guys, including our selection here. So I mean, it's going to be very interesting to the Rams trade back and say, F it, we're getting more picks. I think they will stay put in the third and get somebody, but it really depends on who is there. I mean, they can go 10 different ways. Yeah. Obviously, everyone wants an inside linebacker, which, again, we got to see who's available there. Not too many guys I had third round grades on that I thought were worth it are going to be there, to be honest with you. Terrance, Demetrius Knight's already gone. UCLA, Schlesinger is gone in the early second. And then the only other guy I got is the Georgia inside linebacker who's going to be there, and that's pretty much it. So we'll see there. Cornerback, there's tons of options. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes. And I think one last stat I want to share real quick about the tight end stuff before we get out of here, before I forget about it. So, the Rams address an area of need per Greg Beacham with the Oregon tight end Ferguson. He's only the third tight end chosen by Les Snead in the last 8 drafts. The other two have 29 combined NFL catches. Again, Bryson Hopkins, our Super Bowl hero, making clutch catches, and then Davis Allen, who caught a touchdown in the wild card playoff games, but we know he can play.
Yeah, it could end up being an extremely good tight end room, if nothing else.
Yeah,
but,
no, that's a good 1, 2, 3, 4, just right off the bat, without any games being played. It's a good group, and again, got to see the health, got to see more from Colby, got to see more from Davis, and obviously, I got to see how Ferguson develops as well. But we shall see, Rams Nation. But I think a quick little tidbit before we get out of here, as this news dropped maybe 15-ish minutes or so before our selection, and this kind of came out of the blue here, and that is the Rams to have a new alternate uniform in 2025, as I got some fun little info from someone that the Rams were planning to release something either this season or next season, and this was told to me about a couple of months ago. But I had no idea what it would be, what it would look like, whether it would be a new uniform, a throwback, whether it would be this season or the 2026 campaign. But we got our answer pretty dang fast, as 2025, it is happening, Rams Nation, as the Rams did post this fun little graphic here, as it says, allow us to reintroduce ourselves, NFC West. Nike times NFL rivalries coming to Los Angeles in 2025. As you see here, Puka Nacua in his new number 12 jersey, but the photo here, if you're not tuning in on YouTube, everything is in black and white. Purposely did not see what the uniform color scheme is, but to me, it looks just like our home or away uniform, but obviously the color scheme and everything is probably going to be drastically different. Who knows? There's rumors about a black uniform that have been going on today, similar to what the Super Bowl jersey I'm wearing right now, which would be black with maybe the blue number and yellow outline. I wouldn't hate that, if we do that. Obviously, I'm team yellow jersey, white pants, or throwback stuff, but hey, if you're not too sure, you don't believe me, if that's going to be a new uniform, this is what's on the Nike NFL Rivalries.com website that just launched. What to know? Rivalries. The NFL and Nike's new uniform and fan gear program will elevate NFL rivalry games over the next 4 seasons. Wow. The first cohort of rivalries teams from the AFC East and the NFC West, Rams, will wear uniforms born from local community insights during select home games against division rivals. So that's fun. Additional rivalries uniforms will debut during the next following seasons, 2026, 2027, 2028. So eventually every team will have an additional uniform I'm sure they could wear against division foes for the next 4 seasons. And it says rivalry jerseys and apparel will be available ahead of the upcoming NFL season at Nike.com, NFL Shop, yada, yada, yada. So, Mark, if you had to guess what this uniform is going to be, and I know you can't tell Jack Tilley squat from a black and white photo, what do you think it's going to be, honestly?
Well, my first guess would be if you go back to those late 1960s, the blue and white, maybe if you can kind of picture that in a black and white presentation. I'm just guessing here. I mean, Nike's pretty good at coming up with this stuff. But, with the Rams horns and anything other than blue and gold and blue and white there for a while, it'll be pretty striking to see how they do the helmet is what I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I mean, this could go a gazillion different ways. I have a weird feeling, I don't know why, but this black uniform trend has been kind of stealing the NFL by storm. And I feel like based on what Kevin Demoff, our team president, said way back when we were unveiling all the new rebranded uniforms back in 2020, he was like, if we could, we would have a new uniform every season, or not obviously like a new alternate uniform every season. He was like, why not black? Why not yellow? Why not blue? He just named like every color that could be acceptable for Rams. So I just have a weird feeling that they're not going to go yellow. I just don't know why, even though I would like not all yellow, Yellow jersey, white pants, blue socks, very similar, but a modern version of what we wore in the 1950s when we won the 1951 NFL World Championship here in LA. I would like that, a modern version. That would do me well, but I just have this odd feeling it's going to be a black jersey, which I won't hate. If it looks like the one I'm wearing, right? Blue numbers, yellow outline, with obviously the black jersey as the base, I wouldn't hate that. But, knowing how the Rams uniforms have been over the last, rebranded 5 years, they're going to do some weird gradient shit that's going to bother me. And, oh well, as long as we win in them, I guess so be it. But
they need to hire you in as a consultant, a uniform consultant. That would solve the problem.
I mean, people have said that during those fan interactions where they were getting fan feedback about the new uniforms and logos before the rebrand launched, they were getting it. Kevin said to everyone, including the fans that were in that meeting, giving the feedback that they didn't want to look like some team from the 1970s. So you can kiss all your hopes of throwbacks coming back anytime soon, I believe. Everything's going to be modernized in this obviously newer broken Rams horn and the logo and all that. But, oh well, we'll see what it is. And it'll be cool to have something that looks sick to wear against the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, or wherever we choose to wear it for. That would be dope, Rams Nation. But that'll do it for this reaction video, Mark. But man, oh freaking man. Tell me, Rams Nation. Let me know in the comment section on YouTube. Let me know in the comment section on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever else you get your podcasts and you listen in there. How do you feel about Mr. Ferguson being selected in the second round there? Let me know in the comment section. Was that a reach for you? Did you even know who he was? How do you feel about tight end being a priority for McVay going forward? And let me know also, how do you feel about the Rams getting a new uniform? And what do you think that should look like? Yellow, black, different combinations of blue and white. Obviously, it's not going to be a throwback if I had to guess. But what do you prefer? What would you like to see? Let me know in the comment section as well. But Rams select tight end Terrance Ferguson in the second round, 46 overall. We hope this freak athlete will turn out well, right, Mark?
Oh, yeah. And it will. It will. We'll be fine. Onward to another divisional title.
That's right, baby. Trying to get that damn Super Bowl and as many weapons as possible. I'm all for it. But that'll do it here, Rams Nation. Like this video, share this video, share this podcast with all your fellow Rams and football fans. And again, let me know all your thoughts in the comment sections. But I'll do it here, Rams Nation. But never forget, go Rams, baby.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. The NBA playoffs are here, and Michelob Ultra is getting you closer to the game than ever with courtside seats and more. Enter now at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access Courtside 2024 to 2025 sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Ends on July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/superior access/courtside for free entry deadlines, and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.